Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing really well. Now you may be thinking why I'm wearing my hair like a 5-year-old girl, and that is because it kind of goes with the theme of my video today. As you can tell by the title, I'm doing a tag called the Throwback Tag. I haven't been tagged by anyone to do this, but I just thought it would be a really fun video for me to do. And basically I'll be answering questions about my childhood, and I just thought I would do my hair like this because this is a hairstyle I wore all the time when I was little, and I've also got like a little dungaree dress on, and I just thought I would kind of look the part. So yes, this isn't a particularly current or popular tag, but I just thought it was one I wanted to do. So I think as long as you're doing videos you want to do, then that's fine. So I've got the questions here on my phone, and I'm just going to begin by reading them. And also I tag absolutely anyone who wants to do this video because it just looks like a really fun video to do. Okay, question number 1. What year were you born in? I was born in 1994, which at this time presently makes me 20, but in I think like 2 weeks I will be 21. Question number 2. Do you have any pictures of yourself from when you were younger? If you do, show them. I have got so many photos from when I was younger. Obviously you're not going to be able to see if I just show them up like this. I have got some here, but I'm just going to show them in a little montage of photos. I think that's probably the easiest way to do them. Yeah, I've got so many pictures of myself from when I was younger, which is really nice to look through. I love looking through pictures in albums specifically. That's why I think it's kind of sad that like today's generation, all their pictures are online, because I think there's just something really special about looking at pictures in a photo album. I could spend absolute hours doing that, have a cup of tea and biscuits, and that would just be my perfect afternoon. So I hope you enjoyed those pictures. I wasn't a particularly cute child, but I was definitely very charismatic, I would say. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed those pictures. I think they're quite funny. Question number 3. What TV shows did you grow up watching? I was definitely your classic like Disney, Nickelodeon, CBBC kind of kid. When I was younger I was all about like Playhouse Disney was my number one thing. I remember being around 6, 7 or 8 and really wanting one of those mini Playhouse Disney birthday cakes. There's probably only a small percentage of you who would know what they are, probably none of you do. But I applied for one and I actually got one, and my parents surprised me with it, and it was like the best day of my life. I absolutely loved getting that cake, it was so good. When I got a bit older I was into Sabrina the Teenage Witch, That's So Raven. A couple of years ago I actually went and watched every single episode of Sabrina on YouTube, and that was like the best binge watch session of my life. I loved that. Saved by the Bell. But these are like when you're kind of older. When I was younger I really just like the classics like Pingu and yeah, if you're a kid around my age in Britain then you know the kind of shows we would watch. Teletubbies. Bloody love Teletubbies, I do. Did. No, don't still love it now. And oh, one more. I was obsessed with Out of the Box on Disney, and Bear in the Big Blue House. Okay, I'm just getting loads of them coming in my head, but Out of the Box I absolutely loved, and I thought it was a real thing. Like I thought it was a real daycare kind of centre, and I desperately wanted to go on there. Dick and Dom in the Bungalow. Oh my god, I applied to be on Dick and Dom in the Bungalow, and then a few months later they cancelled it, and I was so upset. Oh my god, I love that. Anyway, next question. Number 4. What did you want to be when you grew up, and do you still want to be that? I wanted to be a numerous array of things. I wanted to be a ballet dancer because I took ballet. I don't want to be that now. I would if I could, but I don't. An actress. I definitely would be an actress still if I could. And then those were my main 2 things. I always wanted to be a dancer or an actress. I went through a slight tomboy phase where I wanted to be a mechanic who did ballet on the side, or a ballerina who did mechanicking. mechanics on the side. So yeah, apart from that weird mechanic one, I was kind of wanted to be in the profession, the like musical theatre, whatever profession, not musical, I can't sing, but wow, I ramble and I forget to breathe as well when I talk. Question number 5. Show a video of yourself when you were younger. I have got quite a few videos of myself when I was younger that are all on tape still, so I can't show you those. There is one video that I know of which is online, which my uncle uploaded, and I will insert that now just to give you a little backstory. I was being a brat and I was trying to persuade my mum to give me a biscuit even though I hadn't eaten my lunch or something like that, and she wasn't giving me a biscuit, and I moaned and cried until the cows came home, so I will play that now.
This is going to be so good to show to your boyfriend when you're older. So you going to marry this woman, or you want this video?
No. Let's see that face again. No. No. No.
Yes. 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 Yes.
No, no.
Yes, yes.
No.
Yes. I want them.
What a spoiled little melodramatic child I was. You can see why I wanted to be an actress. I thought I was so good. Question number 6. What were your favourite toys to play with? Barbies. Anything Barbies or Polly Pocket, I was just, yeah, that was just me all over. Anything girly, pretty much, I was into. I used to get all my Barbies together, dress them in their best clothes and set them all up like they were at a wedding or something, like having their picture taken, and just take pictures of them. And like I was a professional photographer, and I've probably still got those pictures somewhere, they're going to haunt me. Something I really regret is selling my Barbies. I sold them at a boot fair for so cheap, and I had so many, and I had like the Barbie plane and the train and the airport and all that, and I loved them so much. I also love, when I got a little bit older, PlayStation 2. I loved playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4 on that. That was my favourite game ever. And I loved The Sims, and it's not really a toy, but I absolutely love The Sims, but then again, who didn't? And I probably just loved all those classic 90s toys that everyone loved. Question number 7. What's the most embarrassing thing you can remember doing? Nothing particularly springs to mind. I'm sure if my parents were here, like in the house, I could ask them and they would give me a wild array of things. The only thing that springs to mind like instantly was the amount of times I'd be up Tesco and shopping with my dad, because I always went shopping with my dad, and I'd lose him and then think I found him, but because he was so tall and I didn't think to look up, I just started holding hands with random men, and they'd kind of look down at me and I'd be like, "You're not my dad." And it was very awkward and embarrassing, and it must have happened at least once a month, I would say. Although I didn't admit that to my dad that it happened that often, but I was terrible for not checking it was my dad. And I'm very, very lucky that I didn't do that to a weirdo and he like took me away or something like that. I'm very lucky. So yeah, that's something that embarrasses me. No, something that's embarrassing that springs to mind. I don't remember this, but my dad said that once I went to him with a meeting at a bank or an insurance place or something like that, and they had a little play area, and I was just playing and he was keeping an eye on me, and apparently a lady with a rather large behind bent over in front of me, and I said something along the lines of, "Look at the size of her bum," or something like that, really loud. So that was something that embarrassed my dad, but I don't remember doing it, luckily, because that would mortify me now to think about that. Question number 8. Read something you wrote when you were in kindergarten. Now, I'm really annoyed because about 6 months ago I cleared all under my bed of all my old school things and things like that, and I bagged them up, labelled them and put them down the cellar, and then my mum went and put a load of stuff on top of them and I literally can't get to them, so I've got nothing up here, I don't think, from when I was at school to read. So yeah, I don't have anything. If I did, I'm sure it would be hilarious, because I wrote a book when I was younger, It was called Alexandra's Holidays, and it was like a picture and writing book. I used to cut things from magazines, stick it in there, draw things, and it was, if I remember rightly, about a little girl who, her parents went away working, I think she was about 10, and she just started travelling the world with her pet rabbit, I think it was, and it was called Alexandra's Holidays. And I'm sure if a children's publishing agency found it today, they would want to publish it instantly. It was pure gold. Question number 9. 3 songs you loved listening to as a child. Anything Busted. As a child, and still now, I was absolutely scarily obsessed with Busted, the band. On that wall over there, I had a shrine to them, which did also continue around the whole room, but that was where my particular shrine was. So yeah, I would still listen to Busted songs now all day if I had the time to listen to all of them all day. I also loved McFly when I was younger. When I was super young, like say still in the 90s, I was probably into your standard Spice Girls, and I don't know, because I don't feel like I probably didn't listen to a lot of music when I was like 6, 7, I don't really know. I remember like the first CDs I bought were like Cheeky Girls, that the Ketchup song, if anyone remembers that. It was like, had these movements to it or something. I don't know. So yeah, I can't really recall what I listened to as a child too much, but yeah, Busted were probably my favourite, definitely my favourite. Question number 10. What was one funny thing you dressed up as for Halloween when you were younger? I don't think I would have dressed up as anything particularly funny for Halloween. I remember dressing up as a cat and a witch, and I will try and find a picture or two of me dressed up from Halloween, but none of them would have been funny. I think the funniest thing I ever dressed up as that I can recall was Queen Victoria. This wasn't for Halloween, this was for Victorian Day at school. I don't know if any of you guys ever had Victorian Day, but I loved it. So most people in my class were dressed up as like peasants or like slightly higher up people in the Victorian world. I was like, no, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to go for it. So I dressed up as Queen bloody Victoria, and I bossed everyone around all day, and I was walking around like this, like I was better than everyone else. And I have got pictures of that, so I will insert them here because I was just so the part for it. I just looked so funny. Yeah, so those are the pictures. I'm so glad I've got pictures from my childhood. They're so funny to look at. Question number 11. Tell a funny story of something you remember happening when you were young. I think I am probably a little bit boring because I can't think, nothing springs to mind particularly. I wish it did, but it doesn't. Nothing funny anyway. But again, like before, if my parents were here, they would probably have a whole catalogue of things for me to tell you about. But as it stands now, nothing springs to mind. I should have pre-thought all this, obviously. That's what a normal person would do. A normal and organised person. Question number 12. Are there any special things you've kept from when you were a child? Yes, there is. Yes, there are. Yes, there are. I don't have access to all of them at the moment because they're probably all scattered around in separate places. I do have access to a few of these things though, literally just a small few, but I will share them with you now. The first one is this ladybird toy thing. It's got magnetic legs and arms, and back in the day when I had a high up bed, it was one of those beds that could be low, and then you could have curtains on it in any position, which was so cool because when it was at its highest you could have like a desk under it. That's actually where my Busted shrine was. It was under the bed in my desk area, and I had like fairy lights in there and curtains, and it was so cool. But anyway, this was always just stuck to my bed because it was a metal bed from IKEA, and it was just always there, and I dropped him. And I just always remember this little guy being there throughout my childhood when I had that bed. So yeah, there's a little story for you. Next thing I've got is my Game Boy Color. I've got some stickers on there, which is pretty cool. On the back I've got a Pokemon sticker I've got Harry Potter ones and then a flower, and then I've got my name on it as well. What game have we got in there? We've got the Rugrats time travel game in there. Oh my god, I just dropped it on my phone. I don't know which one I'm more worried about. My phone, probably. Me and my sister got given these at the same time. We just sat down on a plane to go on holiday to France, and my mum was just like, I've got something to keep you occupied, and we thought, oh, she's going to give us a word search or something, and she just pulled out a Game Boy Colour each for us, and we were just like, oh my god, Mum, are you sure? I think I was probably like 7, 8ish maybe, if I remember rightly. And then a few years later I got a Game Boy Advance, which was so cool because it had like the backlight screen on it, and that, I think they both still work actually. These batteries are probably 50 million years old. I think I might try this later and see if it works. As for my Game Boy Advance, that needs a charger, so I don't even know where that is, but I would probably still happily play on both of them because they're just so fun. I loved the herbs on my Game Boy Advance, so good. Next thing I've got is this Polly Pocket necklace. I've had this for absolute donkey's years. I always struggled to open it when I was little. Let's see if I can do it now. Yes, I can, because I actually have fingernails now. Inside, I'll do a little close-up in a minute, there is this little picture of me which is so cute. I look so shocked. There isn't actually a Polly Pocket in there. I don't know where she went, but this is just something that I just always keep because it was just so special. I always used to wear it around my neck, and I just... nostalgia. I love nostalgia. I'm not going to show you too much detail because it's kind of gross. It's this Simpson pot, which is super faded because I used to have it on my windowsill, so it's faded from the sun. Inside, I won't show you, but I'll just have a look. Inside this bang on the door tissue, which if you remember Bang on the Door, then good for you, because it was like Groovy Chick Bang on the Door or something like this. Inside this little tissue are all my baby teeth, so I won't show you because it's kind of gross to some people, but I think it's a nice thing to keep for no particular reason. Let me know if your parents or you kept your baby teeth, because I feel like I'm in the minority of people that do this. Me and my sister both did it. Our mum did it for us, and then we kept them when we were a bit older, losing our teeth, like 9 or 10. And I also got this little pot in there as well, which is a wooden pot with a little mouse on it, and it had a French saying on it because we got it in France, but it's worn off. And this was the pot we would put our tooth in when it went under our pillow, so we didn't lose the tooth. So yeah. And if you're wondering why I have my baby teeth and why the tooth fairy didn't keep them, it's because I always specifically wrote the tooth fairy a letter saying, please Mrs. Tooth Fairy, please can I keep my teeth because I want to keep them forever, or something like that. I don't think I liked the thought of something that was mine going somewhere else and belonging somewhere else. I just didn't like that idea, so I got my baby teeth in a little Lisa Simpson tin. So those are the few things that I've got on hand to show you. Question number 13. What was something weird you used to do as a child? I was an incredibly weird child, but the thing that springs to mind first is the fact that I was convinced I had a brother named Jack who died in the war. And to my memory, I used to see him appear as a ghost. Now, I wasn't very old. I was probably about 4 when I started going to my mum, where's Jack? And she'd be like, who's Jack? And I'd be like, my brother that died in the war, just casually, you know, the one. And when I say war, I meant World War II. So quite a strange little child I was. And I can't imagine how bizarre that must have been for my mum, having like a 3, 4, 5-year-old, I don't remember how old, being convinced that they had a dead brother from the war. So yeah, I'm surprised she didn't put me in therapy, to be quite honest, because I think if my child was saying something like that, I'd be quite concerned. So yeah. Question number 14. What's the scariest thing you remember that happened to you when you were younger? I've had several death experiences involving drowning. I still can't swim to this day, and I think it's about 3-4 times I've nearly drowned, always on holiday actually. So yeah, that's pretty scary. I am 100% sure that my life flashed before my eyes in one of them. I would think I was about 8. Yeah, but that was probably just because I was losing oxygen or something. I don't know, but yeah, that's probably the scariest thing. It's bloody scary. Wouldn't recommend that to happen to anyone. And the last question, question number 15. How is the world now different from how it was when you were a child? I would say in some respects it's very different, in some respects it's not. Obviously technology, I feel like technology hasn't changed too much. There hasn't been much new that has happened since I grew up in the last 20 years than it did, say, because technology would have changed a lot during 20 years ago, if that makes any sense. It probably doesn't. I think children aren't children as long as they were when I was a child. I think I was probably on the cusp of those kind of kids that were just the last ones to get a really decent childhood that wasn't, but I did grow up quite quickly really. I started wearing makeup when I was like 11, so I guess that's not entirely true, but I think children nowadays are so focused on, like, they have phones when they're like 7. I didn't get a phone until I was 11, and that was only because I was starting secondary school. So I just think it's sad how kids can like look at their parents' iPad and know how to do things on it when they're like 5 years old. I just think, be a kid. So yeah, I don't know how to answer that question. It's probably changed a lot in some respects and not a lot in others. It's quite a thought-provoking thing really. I'll have a little think about that later. So yeah, that is the end of the video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed seeing some stupid children, baby pictures of me from when I was little. And if you do this video, then leave me a comment down below letting me know, and I would love to check it out. I just think it's really fun and nosy to look at other people's baby pictures, and yeah. As always, all my links are down below for my social media. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and comment down below if you feel like it. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. I make videos 3 times a week at the moment. And yeah, I will see you in my next video. Bye.